Hello and a very good day everyone. So today what we'll learn is we will learn how we can actually combine 4 different worksheets into a single database, and then from there I want to actually build a visual to show to my manager what is the total sales or quantity being distributed sold to the retailer. So there is a fictional company. What it does is it sells FMCG products, that means fast moving consumer goods, to the respective retailers. So we have 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, we have 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, we have 𝗧𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗏, we have 𝗕𝗂𝗁𝗏. And when you look carefully, all these particular companies, they have in different location. So like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Fresh Mart is a retailer. So they have in Mumbai, Jaipur, Nagpur, and Pune and Madurai and so on. So basically they have in several places. Then you have 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in also several location, 𝗧𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗏, 𝗕𝗂𝗁𝗏, Food Mart. So what I need to do is I need to consolidate all this worksheet, and then I want to calculate what is the sales from January to December. I'm going to just open my Power BI. So what I'm going to do is in this Power BI, the first step is I need to import the data. Power BI, we need to go, we click the blank report, and then I need to choose get data from an Excel workbook. You may ask me, why should I need to import data from Excel? Well, if you look here carefully, this is an Excel file. So when we go to our Power BI, we need to click import data from Excel. We click over here, you will notice that a box will appear. So you need to know where you save your file. So apparently I saved the file in desktop, 1st January, 3 case study, and then I'm going to go here. I'm going to select 6 revenue June report because that's the June report. I'm going to select over here. I'm going to press open. Once I press open, you will notice that a box will appear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select a particular worksheet. You see, my intention right now is I need to actually compile. I need to consolidate all the worksheet. But I'm just going to click here, this first worksheet. Or even though we need to compile all, I'll just click one worksheet and then I will just click on transform data. Why I never press load? Because when you press load, the data will be immediately loaded to the Power BI. So when you press transform data, what happens is it will be navigated to Power Query Editor. Why we need to go to Power Query Editor? Because we need to actually do data cleaning. Apparently, if you look here carefully, the data is not clean. So we need to actually clean the data. So I'll just X this. I'll X this one more time. And I'll X this one more time. So you may ask me why I only choose 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, because I want to remove all this and go to the source, because this is where I will do the compilation. Then I will just remove, because sometimes we do have kind and so on. So I will just unselect the define name, make sure only sheet is worksheet only selected. So now this is done. Then what I'm going to do is I'll just want to expand this, because you see here we have a worksheet called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So this is the details. 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗕𝗂𝗁𝗏. So I expand this and then I'm going to press OK. So now this is the details. What I'm going to do next is I want to remove the unnecessary columns. So this column I remove, column 2, column 3 I remove. I press Ctrl G because Ctrl G means it can help me to go to another worksheet. Let me just select here and press OK. So there is a hidden column, kind column, item column. This column all I don't want. November, December I want because that's represent the November, December data. So I click here, delete, done. So Ctrl G, go back to the first column. If you have more than 50 columns, you can just press Ctrl G to navigate around. Okay, so what I want to do is I will select this first column, column 4, column 5, column 6, column 7, and I'm going to press right click and fill down, because automatically it will fill down the data. So now it's looks a bit better. And then what you see is basically I don't really want the null. So I don't want the null and I don't want the sub product category. But never mind, what I'll do is the first thing is I'll use remove the first row, remove the top row, and then after that remove the first row, and then use first row as header, because the January I want to promote as the header. So use first row as header. Done. And of course I want to filter the null, I want to filter the sub product. So I'm going to click over here, unselect the null and unselect the sub product, and then after that I'm going to press OK. So now it looks a bit cleaner because here we have the retail, the location, the SKU, and then we have January up to December. So what I'm going to teach you is I'm going to teach you on unpivot column. You can actually right click and unpivot column. We have unpivot column, unpivot other column, but never mind, let me go slowly. So what is the intention is, here we have January, February, March, April, May, and until the December month. What I want to do is all this column I want to actually transpose or make it like one column dedicated for months, one column dedicated for the values. So I need to press unpivot column, transform unpivot column. So when you press unpivot column, this is how it looks like. So maybe let me repeat one more time. Just now if you notice, the initially it's like in separate columns, right? So now when I unpivot, it becomes two columns. So let me do one more time. What I press is January, February until the end. Okay, until the end. Then I go to transform and unpivot column. But what if just say you have 30 columns? You want to highlight one by one? Not necessary. If just say you don't want to highlight all the other columns, you just highlight these first few columns, okay? These columns all you highlight, and then you just right click and you can unpivot other columns, meaning to say the other column will be unpivoted. And just like that, now it looks a bit better. So this is the details. This one I actually prefer whole number, so I'm going to choose this whole number. Okay, so you can rename this. I don't want Radha Krishnan, I want retailers. So these are the retailers, the customers. This will be the location, SKU, brand, product, sub-product, variant. This will be months, and this will be quantity supplied. Okay, so now what I want to know is I want to know the performance from January up to December. Some of you will ask me, why there is no December? Well, if you look here carefully, here we have January, Control G, and when I select December, why actually don't have December? You see here got December, November, August, even we have July. But why when I go to this particular area, why there's no December? Because you see here, January until June got data. But when we talk about, just say, like for example, July, we see null. What null means? Null means a blank cell. Because apparently, if you look this particular file, this file is a June file. And that is why we don't have any information from July to December. So when there is no information, it will appear null. When we appear null and we unpivot, that's why there is no data for from July until December. Okay, since we are done, I'll just rename this as sales report. Okay, and then I go to home, close and apply. So when you close and apply, eventually it will load, it will go back to Power BI. But the thing is, right now what I want to do is I want to show a visual to my manager. Like, you know, like January to December, how many sales? That's what I want to show. So if you want to show that, you need to do what? You need to click over here, and then you just select the months and you select the quantity supplied. And then of course you can't see. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go to the values. I put here 20, and then I go to the column header. I put here 20. So right now it looks bigger, but there's an issue. Why? If you look here carefully, we have April, February, January, and here we have May. If we talk about a real calendar year, now we are in 2nd January 2026, meaning to say in a proper calendar year, the month starts from January up to December. Unless some companies, they have a different financial year. Of course, you can start with April, but after April, if we follow the calendar, we have January, February, March. After April is May. But why it's like this? Because these data, if you notice, these months are not in a proper date format. Instead, it is actually in the form of text format. So apparently, if you look at Excel, okay, just say I go here, I write here Jet, and then when I drag down, if you notice carefully, it will actually autofill. There is a feature in Excel called autofill, because Excel recognizes that this January is just not a word or a text. So when we drag down, it will able to capture. Even if just say I write here APR and I just drag, after April we have May, June, July. But in this Power BI, it's not recognizing. So what you need to do is we need to create a dummy table to make sure it's recognized properly. How to make sure the dummy table recognized? Okay, so I'll just do what? I'll go to transform data. Okay, basically it's up to you actually to create an index column over here, but personally I feel that's better to create a dummy table. We can actually go to here and click index column so that eventually the months will be sorted accordingly as per the sequence over here. But I will not suggest this. What I'll do is I'll create a dummy table. So I'll just right click over here and I'll just press duplicate, and then I'll put here as date data. Okay, so this data I'm going to use only I want to capture the months column. So I go to home, I go to choose column. So under the choose column, what I want to do is I'll just unselect all and select months. Why I select months? Because I only want these months and I want to tell to Power BI, don't sort alphabetical order, because this ABC is a text. Text means it will sort A to Z. Don't sort like that. What I want you to do is, I want you to actually sort in a proper sequence. January as the first month, February is the first month, and so on. But before that, I'll go to remove row, remove duplicate, because here we do have all the duplicates like January, then we have January. So remove duplicate, done. And then I go to add column and I create index column. So it doesn't have to be from 1. You can start from 0, from 2 and so on. But the most important thing is, this January until June is in a proper sequence. You go to home, you press close and apply. When you press close and apply, what happens is, if you notice carefully, in the model view, the relationship has been formed between these two database. Here you see here also we have the months column. Over here also we have months column. So in the data modeling means it's creating a connection between two tables. When you have a common details between the two tables, a connection will be formed. So I create this. So when I go here and I'm going to do what? I'll just click this visual over here, unselect the months, and then I'll click this months over here, drag it and put it over here. So right now you'll see, okay, maybe what I'll need to do is I select the months. Okay, since we have already created a connection, the next step is we click sort by column, sort by index. Once you sort by index, apparently what happened is, since we have the months here, so the purpose of having index is to ensure that the months is sorted in a proper sequence. January, February, March, April, May, June. And then I click here, and since it's a whole number, I'll put in a 1000 separator so that we have a comma. So we notice, okay, this company, January there's higher sales, but then February onwards there's like a volatile. They decrease, decrease, then increase. So it's a bit weird. There's a volatile movement. But what if you just say, you see here, this is June report. What if they say you have the subsequent month, subsequent period, which is December? Because I don't want to redo again and again and again. Because you see here we have July report, because this is the December report. So don't worry. In this case, we will choose change data source. Meaning to say, what I want you to do is, you need to go to your home. You can click over here, or you can click this arrow, you click data source settings. So you click data source settings, and then what happens is, over here, June report, right? So you click change source, and instead of selecting this, I'm going to press browse. So just now we select June report. Now I'm going to select December. I press open, I press OK. So June becomes December, press close. Automatically this pink color, the pane will appear. You just click apply changes. Once you apply changes, what happens is, you will notice the data will be updated. So meaning to say, the first month you work hard, the second month you work smart, and eventually your data will be formatted accordingly.